Hey guys, so very recently Activision released a whole bunch of press images of new weapons and gear and stuff, and despite the fact that there's basically not too many things to talk about, looking at new gear and stuff is still fun, so here we go, I guess. First up, let's take a look at the full sets of gear. We have the Raid set, we have the Iron Banner set, we have the Trials of Osiris set, we have the Iron Lord set. Originally, I thought that this set was a completely different set of armor compared to the others, but when we look closely at the Iron Banner set compared to this one, well, this black set is basically just a reskinned version of the Iron Banner set, perhaps with Iron Banner ornaments or maybe just a different shader. This would lead me to believe that this set, with all the flames and stuff, is the Iron Lord set, the one that you get from the book, but that is just speculation at the moment. There's also the Archon's Forge set that has been mentioned, but I don't think we've seen any of the armor from it just yet. This is the one thing that has really stood out to me this time around, the armor sets. In the past, we've all oogled at the different armor sets coming out, but I think this time around in Rise of Iron, the artists really outdid themselves. All of the stuff looks phenomenal. Then we get into some more of these specific armor pieces here. I'm not going to pretend that there's anything to talk about other than how cool these look, so just enjoy the pictures. Next, we'll move to some weapons. Let's look at the weapons shown in the ViDoc first. Now, in the ViDoc, which is linked in the description if you haven't watched it, we learned more specifically about how ornaments will work, although it's basically how I thought they would work. You'll earn ornaments through certain activities, although some of them will be available to buy for silver. For example, they said that some of the Trials ornaments will only be available if you go flawless. Anyway, you toss the ornament onto the weapon or the armor piece, and from there you can activate or deactivate it at your choosing. So we got a preview of some of the ornaments in action. Monte Carlo, for example, can be turned gold, or a combo of red and black, looks pretty nice. Hawkmoon will have two options as well, one with a sort of messed up paint look to it, and the other is black with gold wings on it, looks really nice. Then we have the Nemesis Star, which is a new exotic heavy machine gun from the Nadir Foundry. We can see all of the paint options here, and the thing looks pretty cool. We also have some stats for it, and we can see that it's a slow-firing heavy machine gun with a rather large magazine at 53. The first column has some barrel options. The first perk looks like spray and play, which is pretty good on a heavy machine gun. The middle column looks like perfect balance, field scout, and speed reload. Probably will end up taking field scout on my Titan with rune wings to get more ammo. And then finally, the main perk is whatever it ends up being, because we don't know what it is and they didn't hover over it in the ViDoc. The background of the icon itself does have the rangefinder icon behind it, so it could have something to do with the range stat, but that's just a total guess. Next, we have this pulse rifle, which has people very, very excited. Current speculation leads us to believe that it'll come from the raid, given the look of it. It has a very Siva, Warmind-ish kind of look to it. But the thing people are really looking at are the little seekers that come out and target an enemy, dealing a lot of damage after a kill. Almost Gallarhorn-esque in terms of damage. Like, look at all the damage it does. It's crazy. I want to say that it's the raid exotic given its power at first glance, but I also feel like they wouldn't spoil the raid exotic, but this also seems way too good to be a raid legendary at first glance, so I don't know. The gun also has Outlaw on it. We don't know the context of the Seekers, if they happen all the time, if there's a qualifier, why does the gun have such a little ammo? Did it just happen to not have a lot of ammo when they were recording? So yeah, just few questions still left to answer with that, but right now the thing looks absolutely ridiculously good. Here we can see the possible ornament for the updated look of the Kvastov. The audio for this clip says old exotics with a hunter holding thorn, so this could be the Kvastov variant Bungie mentioned in terms of turning the gun into a more modern looking weapon. And it looks, you know, pretty modern. Finally, we'll move to the weapons from the press images. The Iron Banner set, or the Iron Lord set, whatever this ends up being, features this sort of rusted or worn out look to them. The barrel is typically a copper pipe with some spirals on it, along with most of the guns featuring some chainmail on them. Very unique look to them, and they look great. We've really come a long way in terms of weapon visuals from the start of Destiny, from VOG weapons to these. Lots of improvements, they look really, really sharp. Next up, we get a clearer shot of a Trials weapon. This is basically the theme of the Trials weapons this time around. Very sleek, blue with gold paint with the logo on it. Looks really nice. Here is a fusion rifle named Each New Day, and this is probably the Crucible fusion rifle. Kind of matches with the Warlock gear that was referenced earlier. It features the same sort of base model that all the other fusion rifles have. It just has a New York Knicks color scheme on it. The Vanguard shotgun is up next. Yeah, that looks like a shotgun. That is a shotgun, all right. Finally, we have the Trespasser sidearm exotic, the second exotic sidearm ever, and the first new one in over a year. What does it do? I have no idea. What are the stats? I don't know that either. All we have is this picture. So there's your little preview of some new weapons and the armor sets coming with Rise of Iron. Like I mentioned earlier, the ViDoc is linked in the description. Definitely check it out if you haven't already, because it's a really fun watch. It doesn't really feature too many new information bits, but it does feature a lot of clips and a lot of visuals that we haven't seen until now. But that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you next time.